Tim with Ace Appliance in Toledo, Ohio, and welcome back to another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com. We are on a Whirlpool electric dryer, and the complaint is that the timer is not advancing. So we are going to put our timer right at 50 on a high heat and hit start and see if it heats up and is it advancing or not. So we can feel through the ducting that it is actually heating, and that's a good start. So we'll let it run for a while and see if the timer is advancing or not, and go from there. So the tools we'll need to replace a timer are a Phillips screwdriver, a 1/4-inch nut driver, some needle nose pliers, and a multimeter to make sure we have a bad timer. So we're on our Whirlpool electric dryer with the timer not advancing, and while it is heating, we've had it on 50 minutes for at least 5 minutes now, and it has not advanced. So we are going to unplug the unit, get access to the timer contacts, and check them out. So now we're going to remove the control panel to gain access to the timer and check it out. We're going to remove our 2 Phillips screws that hold this guy in. And now the entire control panel will be free. And we have some 1/4-inch screws or bolts that we can remove to get a even better access to our timer. So with all of those removed, now we have our timer right in front of us. And the first thing that we're going to check is the timer motor. Since it's not advancing and heating, we know that the heating portion is good. And if we look on the timer, these 2 black wires coming off of it go straight to the motor. So we're going to use our needle nose pliers and remove the electrical connections. And now we're going to take our meter, set it to the ohms value. So with our meter set to the ohms reading, we're going to electrically check the timer motor. And as we can see, the timer is the motor is completely open, so we know that we have a bad timer and need to replace it. So we're going to replace our timer, and the first thing we're going to do is remove the knob, and we have a Phillips screw that holds it in place. So we'll get that out of there. With that little guy removed, we'll flip our panel back over. And there are 2 1/4-inch mounting bolts. We'll remove those, and now the timer is completely free, and we can go about changing all of the connections. And there's 2 ways to do it. You can mark them all and change them, or just change them one for one. And so that's what we're gonna do. They are clearly marked as to which wire color should go where, but to avoid any mistakes, we're just gonna change them one for one. We replace our timer, we're just gonna replace each terminal one by one. So we'll start with this big thick connector. And I got a little clip on this middle one, so we'll raise that up a bit. So we have our main one off, and we'll just transfer it straight to our new timer. So with it oriented correctly, We'll put it right back in its spot. And now we can go about changing all the rest of them. We'll do the white wire next and put it right where it goes on the other one. And continue along the line. We'll do our yellow one next. Right to the yellow terminal. Our black and white. And we'll do both of our purples. And we have our blue wires. And then our big black wire. And the big red wire. Those are both the heating wires. That's why they're so much bigger than the other ones. So with all of our wires in place, we can now remount the timer to the control panel. And if there is any question as to which direction it goes in, there's a little notch right there, and it should line up with the mounting bolt as well, like so. So we'll begin by putting in the 1/4 inch mounting bolts. And we'll just get them on there snug just for the time being. And just recheck our alignment, make sure everything's lined up. Now we can go ahead and fully tighten them. And with that fully tightened, we'll flip it over, reinstall our set screw here. And with that fully in, we can put our knob back on. The knob does have a D shaped to line up with the shaft, so you can put that on in the right spot. So just to show you, we're gonna show you what a good timer tests like. And we really only need to remove one connection, and we'll go to the other black connector and show that it reads about 2.4 k ohms, and that is an indication of a good timer motor. So we'll just put our connection back and reinstall the rear panel on our control panel. All right, now we're going to reinstall our control panel cover, rear cover. And they're all just 1/4 inch screws. We'll get them all secured on there. Now we can reposition our control panel. There are little grooves and slots to get it lined up correctly. So with those firmly seated, we will secure it with the Phillips screws. And now with our timer completely replaced, we'll get it back on the 50-minute mark, plug it in, run it, and watch it go. So on our Whirlpool electric dryer, where the timer was not advancing even though it was heating, we diagnosed a bad timer motor and replaced our timer, ran it, watched it go, and we have completed our repair. Thank you for watching another in-home diagnostic video brought to you by ApplianceVideo.com.